Welcome to Easter Road with myself, Alistair Lamont, and Michael Stewart alongside me. As third place Hibernian face Rangers in fifth, with Hibs having won back-to-back games in the league for the first time this season, and Rangers aiming to do exactly that by taking all 3 points tonight. Let me first of all run you through the teams again in case you haven't heard them. For Hibernian, it's a one change from the weekend victory over Aberdeen as Bashiri comes in for O'Hara, which means it's Salinger in goal, Hanley, Bashiri the captain tonight, and Iredale at the back. The Cadden twins at wing back, Mulligan and Barlasser central midfield with McGrath ahead of them, and Bowie and Cliche up front. For Rangers, 4 changes with Giga, Aarons, Barron and Moore all coming in for Tavernier, Osgar, Diamonde and Gassama. All 4 of those are on the bench. It's Butland in goal for Rangers, Giga, Suter who captains Rangers, and Cornelius at the back. Aarons and Migoma as wing backs, Barron and Raskan central midfielders with Moore ahead of them, and Chermiti and Danilo leading the line for Rangers. So 2 formations look pretty well matched up as the 2 teams have now made their way out onto the Easter Road surface ahead of kick-off here in Leith on this Wednesday evening. The surface still in pretty much mint condition out there as Hibs break away to our left in their traditional green and white tops, white shorts and green socks tonight. Rangers will play in an all orange, what I think is their 4th kit actually now. It's not entirely clear why teams need as many as 4 kits, but there you are. And they will line up in that this evening with John Beaton about to toss the coin as the man in the middle, with Bashiri and Suter the 2 stand-in captains, if you like, tonight. And we're just about ready to get underway. I think both Michael and myself anticipating a really fascinating fixture here this evening. A difficult one to call. Rangers seem to have got a lift certainly at the weekend from the new manager, having lost out in his first game in charge out in Bergen. But Hibs also in pretty decent form. Their home record, going back, as Richard mentioned earlier in the programme, going back almost a year since they were last beaten in the league here by St Mirren. And it will be Rangers to get us going from right to left in this first period, with Nico Raskan, the man in the middle of the park, about to get us underway as John Beaton does blow that whistle, and Raskan rolls it back to Suter, who launches out to the right hand side in search of Aarons. Header is one though, but falls to Connor Barron, who slips it through nicely for Danilo. He couldn't in turn find Mikey Moore. Rangers trying to hound Hibs in their own final third here, but Hibs play it long down the left hand side. Clegy beaten there by Giga, and Connor Barron picks up for Rangers. Mikey, we were certainly looking at the Rangers lineup thinking it was going to be a back 3 again as they started with, but then they warmed up with a 4 at the back, and we were just pondering, just even at the start of this game, I'm not entirely clear. Giga, I thought it was initially starting at right back there, but then it looks like it's going to be that.
It's a back 3, but there's an interesting point here. John Suter went to clear the ball and he completely shanked it, and it looked like it was McGrath that almost intercepted it. It came off the ref, and the Rangers players were wanting the ball. Now, you know that the new law is that it hits the ref, then it's a drop ball for the team that last touched it. Yes, I mean, in the warm-up she said they were shaping up as if it was a back 4, but I don't think anybody was really expecting that after what we saw at the weekend.
Giga has conceded the first corner to Hibernian, and I think he's still one of the players who've come in the summer who's yet to convince the Rangers fans that he is necessarily worthy of a starting place, and he has conceded this early corner kick, although out on that far side is going to be Hibs able to try and curl this one in and put Rangers under pressure in these early stages. It's going to be the right foot of Dan Barlaser to laser it almost to the edge of the box, but Barron read it and knocks it away. But Hibs pick up once more, and it comes to Bowie on the right hand side of the penalty area onto that left foot, swings it towards the back post, but gets too much on it, and it goes behind this time for a goal kick. We played a couple of minutes here at Easter Road, and although it's not a full house tonight at Easter Road, the atmosphere is still good, and both sides looking for an important victory. Hibernian, as Brian mentioned in his interview with David Gray, they haven't won in the top flight against Rangers since 2006, which is quite incredible, and all told it's almost a decade since they recorded a victory here against tonight's opponents. That could change though. Here's Suter for Mikey Moore, and out to the left hand side to Magoma, who goes back to Cornelius, into Raskan, who moves deftly away initially from McGrath. Mulligan though puts in the challenge, and it comes to Barlaser, and that's a lovely ball out to the left hand side, and here's the opportunity, and it's saved by Butland as Nicky Cadden caught it flush. Back it comes into the middle. Cleese tries to get something on it, not enough on the header there, but Jack Butland first forced into action by Nicky Cadden, and I wonder, should Nicky Cadden have done better? Do you expect him to do better in that position?
No, it's a good strike. I'm just wondering whether he could have taken an extra touch and maybe got a little bit closer. The strike itself, I think, is good. It's low, it's hitting the target, it's making the goalkeeper work. But Dan Barlaser in the middle of the park, for me, Al, is really starting to settle into this Hibs team and coming out in a game. He reads the game very well. Positional sense is good, and he's very composed on the ball. He wins it there, slides it into, I think it was McGrath that then played it out for Nicky Cadden, who was breaking through in an acre of space. But this is going to be a very interesting game. Just Mulligan, brilliant as well. They've got the balance really spot on just now, Hibs, in the middle of the park, and I'm just going to say that the turnover of the balls and the transitions are going to be really interesting to see how they play out.
There is a turnover in favour of Rangers. Chermiti picks up on the edge of the box into the area now, just touches it to his right. Danilo looking to get a strike off. That's a fabulous finish from Danilo on the left foot. He just made room for himself on the edge of the penalty area and then curled it into the bottom corner out with this stretched arm of Salinger, and Danilo gives Rangers the lead inside 5 minutes. Really good finish from the Brazilian to add to his goal at the weekend. It's Hibernian 0, Rangers 1.
Well, what a finish. What a goal from Danilo. Forgotten man, really. And then obviously under Danny Rule, he started to make a bit more of a presence, and boys, he made his presence felt there. Scored a neat header at the weekend, and he scored an outstanding goal there inside the first 5 minutes or so. But as you said, I was mentioning about turnovers, and it happens there, but it's so deep in Hibs' half, it's so poor. But Rangers, they capitalise and they punish Hibs big time. I mean, that was clinical, it really was. First touch, out his feet, and I don't think anybody was really expecting anything to happen there, and then pinpoint accuracy with the left boot into the bottom corner. Salinger's got no chance.
Yeah, it only looked like half a chance to me, but Danilo had other ideas and finds the bottom corner and gives Rangers that early lead. And certainly he looks like a player who has got a lift from the new manager, and he's got the confidence of him to start him once more. And Danny Rule is down, very animated on the touchline there, urging his players to carry on in the manner in which they've begun this game.
Well, he couldn't have wished for a better start, coming away to Easter Road and then scoring so early on. It's going to give the team and the players a huge lift in confidence and belief.
Hibernian have got a throw in just about 10 yards inside their own half, right hand side, to be taken by Chris Cadden, right in front of his manager, who will be hoping his side can recover from the loss of that early Danilo strike from the edge of the area. Third goal of the season for Danilo, but he's second in the last couple of games. having not scored in the league since January prior to the weekend, as Suter mops up at the back. Cleges start to look a bit livelier. Michael, I think we're all wondering why Hibs had spent the big money on him in the summer initially. He wasn't really getting a look in the starting 11, but he's found his shooting boots in recent weeks as Hibs tried to manufacture something down the right hand side. Magoma makes the challenge.
Well, even though, I mean, he started against Livy in the Premier Sports Cup, and I've got to be honest, he looked bright, looked like he was capable. I think David Gray's just taking it, understandably, a bit of time for some of the new guys just to bed them in.
Here's Mulligan now, McGrath edge of the box, McGrath straight at the keeper, and Butler needs a couple of goes at that to be sure of holding on to it, but McGrath, a bit like Nicky Cadden just a couple of minutes ago, straight at the keeper when either side of him might have been an even bigger test, as it was Butland managing to save that one from McGrath as he did from Cadden, and Rangers built from the back once more. There's a good urgency from both sides in terms of the tempo as Aarons tries to come forward down the right. He has to check back, but he still has possession of the ball in that right wing back position. Now Giga on the halfway line rolls it into his captain John Suter. Suter to his left to Cornelius. Cornelius was looking for Magoma, but he fired it right at Mikey Moore. Again, it's been given away cheaply though by Hibernian. Magoma picks up and finds Moore. Moore into the feet of Chermiti. He turns into the imposing figure of Grant Hanley. Now picked up by Barlaza, but Rangers have nicked it back. Moore goes for goal and now turns round the post. Hibs are coughing up possession very cheaply and giving Rangers a lot of joy in these early stages. 9 minutes in, Hibs 0, Rangers 1, Rangers corner.
Yeah, I mean, in really crucial areas, Rangers have been able to pick up the ball, get strikes on goal. But that last phase of play, building up from the back from Jack Butland, I think there was a split moment there where the keeper was really caught in two minds. But eventually you see them popping it out. And to be honest, see, when you look at that, it's pretty damning of Russell Martin. It really is. Danny Rowe's got the side looking a lot more fluid inside a couple of days.
Barron into the penalty area, headed away by Hanley out to the left hand side. Chermiti will go and chase it and should be able to keep that in. Bashiri gets the foot in between his legs and knocks it out of play, although the Hibs fans are about him claiming that it came off Chermiti last. Rangers get the throw in, which is quickly taken, but it's gone back the way to Giga, and he'll go back further to John Suter. No, you're right. I mean, the idea of playing out from the back is essentially the same as what Russell Martin was trying to do. They just seem to be able to do it with far greater purpose, and immediately we're seeing Moore pick up possession again from Butler, and now Magoma through the legs of Cadden. He's pulled back by Chris Cadden. There's a yellow card for the Hibs wing back.
You see that pass from Jack Butler? That doesn't happen just by coincidence. The goalkeeper's not the ball at his feet and all of a sudden become, Beckenbauer. It's because clearly these things have been worked on in regards to where they will see and recognise there may well be pockets of space. So it's already in the keeper's mind. He knows where he's meant to be looking. Oh, the guy's there, bang, into his feet. As I said, it's so damning. There's no chat from Danny Rule about, we're possession based, we're building up from the back. There's no gobbledygook, it's just getting it done.
Barrett flicked on by Raskin at the edge of the box, but tamely behind for a Hibs goal kick. It's begun in a kind of fashion, end to end, chances at both ends, which we pretty much expected. We did expect goals. There was a couple of draws here, 2-2 and 3-3 last season, and you wouldn't dismiss something like that this evening as well. Rangers though with the advantage in the early stages thanks to Danilo's fabulous left-footed finish from the edge of the box.
And you can see here, Rangers know exactly what they're meant to be doing. They're set up in a way where they know what Hibs are looking to do to build out from the back, and you can see they've got everybody has got a guy who they're going to be able to go touch tight to. It's good play from Hibs because they've played out from that.
Yeah. Suter tries to turn it back to Butler, who just gets there before Bowie. I was going to say, I think it would have been a free kick, and now John Beaton has given the free kick for the slight shove by Bowie on Suter as he tried to play it back to the keeper, but just momentarily I wondered if the ball was going to get there and if Bowie was going to get the break of the ball, but as it is a free kick to Rangers. So played almost 12 minutes and it's Rangers with the early advantage here at Easter Road. We'll keep you up to date with other goals that go in the Premiership, with 4 other games being played this evening, and all of them have looked very, very meaningful. As Michael and I went through them early doors, you would say that each of them has looks like a really good game in its own right. But here it's Hibs Rangers, which on any other weekend would be the pick of the fixtures. Here's Megoma back to Cornelius, just inside the Hibs half, infield to Raskan. Raskan plays it into Giga on the halfway line. Outside of him is Aarons, here he is. Max Aarons preferred tonight to Tavernier and Gassama, in fact, in that right wing back position. As it comes back out to the left to Megoma. It goes back to Cornelius, who was on the score sheet against Kelly at the weekend. Mikey Moore back to Cornelius once more. Raskan made the run, he tried to find him, but Bashiri was in the way, knocks it out of play, having made the interception. Rangers with the throw in left hand side. Megoma back the way to Suter. Suter with a big searching ball out to the right hand side to Aarons. There's Danilo on the right hand side, about 25 yards from the goal line. Just holds it up for Barron. Barron back to Giga, and then back the way with Suter. Giga once more, about 10 yards into the Hibernian half. Aarons once more on the touchline on that right hand side. And just keeping possession for the moment, not really going anywhere just yet, but might well be a plan as Megoma with the left foot down the line he goes. Finds Mikey Moore. Moore away from Mulligan, into the feet there of Chermiti. Tries to link with the former Everton man. Moore goes tumbling, but it breaks back the way for Cornelius. Now it's Chermiti on the left hand side at the byline, cuts it back, and Hanley was in the way to knock it behind for another Rangers corner. So it's been a decent start, certainly from the visitors, Michael.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Obviously the goal helps massively just to settle them, and confidence grows. But as I mentioned there already, you can see that there are patterns of play. There are pockets of space that they have obviously recognised they can pick up players in and get the ball into them, and they're doing it pretty well.
Barron sends it to the back post. Suter's looking for it, but it's one, but it comes to Megoma, who got a good shot, good connection there, but it's well held by Salinger, who immediately launches it.
Great ball.
Use the
what a ball.
Clige. Yeah, it's a pinpoint ball for Clige. Back goes Aarons with him, tries to take him on the outside, gets it into the 6-yard box. No Hibs players are able to make up the ground, and Raskan's there to knock it out for a throw into Hibs.
It's brilliant from the goalkeeper Salinger, and good play from Clige as well, all on his own. He was able to get past Max Aarons and play the ball into the box. As you said, there was nobody that was up, but I mean, it was no great surprise because he was so far ahead of the rest of the team. But all of a sudden Hibs are down in Rangers' defensive third. They've got a couple of shies here.
It's Chris Cadden away from Barron, gets the ball into the box. Cornelius clears high in the air. Barron comes across, and it's just gone out of play once more for another Hibs throw. And just prior to that terrific ball out from Salinger, it was a really decent save as well to deny Megoma, who caught the ball sweetly on the volley.
And he held it. That was the important thing, wasn't it? He wasn't parrying it. I'm not sure what John Beaton's getting so excited about here.
Well, he's waving Chris Cadden back at 2 or 3 yards from the throw-in, but yeah, he is getting.
It wasn't. Really, it didn't seem like it was so far ahead. But I was just going to say, Hibs haven't been poor so far.
No, not at all. Here's McGrath on the right-hand side. Can't find a teammate though. Raskan for Moore, and now Barron just at the edge of his own penalty that clips it forward. Can't link with Chermiti though, and out for a throw-in on the halfway line, or just a little bit further forwards. Chris Cadden will check with John Payton before he's going to take this one, having been booked. He doesn't want to pick up a second yellow. Actually, Michael, talking of second yellows, you see that one of your bugbears might be about to be resolved by IFAB, that second yellows are going to be able to be checked by VAR, probably, if it's going to be ratified for next season.
Good.
There's Clige, that's a good ball forward. Suter does well, actually. Just checked as it bounced on the turf there, and it almost allowed Suter to get the clearing header in. Clige's gone down, having taken a bit of contact there from the Rangers captain tonight. as he tried to get in, but it did look very much as that ball forward was going to play Clegy in.
Well, it was just our angle here. I thought there was a bit more pace on it. Instead, it sort of checked and it bounced up. John Souttar defended it really well.
Throwing to Hibs so on this right hand side. They don't have Warren O'Hara to take long throw-ins, but Jack Iredale instead has come across to the right hand side, and he's got a long throw himself, and there it is into the edge of the 6-yard box. Cornelius and Souttar both go for the same ball. Neither can properly clear, but then Barron thumps it up towards the halfway line. Hibs 0, Rangers 1. Danilo's early goal separating the sides as Iredale has it on the halfway line, steps forward. Giga makes the challenge there on McGrath, it breaks for Aarons. He clips it up to Chermiti on that right channel, well read by Hanley, but he can't keep it in play, and it's out for a Rangers throw in right hand side, about 15 yards inside Hibs territory. Back to Barron, and now Giga. Souttar has it 20 yards inside his own half, into Raskan, who gets it back out to the right to Giga, quickly forward to Barron. Rangers did make those 4 changes, didn't look like a side that was necessarily their absolutely strongest 11, but they've begun this game pretty well with plenty of intent as Raskan picks up in the centre of the park, plays it short to Giga, who does likewise for Souttar right on the halfway line.
Just out of possession, they've not got the balance right in midfield, Hibs. Both sides sitting with Barlasser and Raskan and 2-8s, but obviously out of possession at the moment. Raskan's getting too much space. They need to try and flip it, perhaps get McGrath going onto Raskan, and Barlasser can step up onto his man. Instead, you can see him there driving from his deep midfield row, almost going into a number 10 position to try and get to Raskan. So they need to get that balance out of possession in the midfield a little bit better.
Aberdeen have gone a goal up at Rugby Park on Kelly. Stuart Armstrong, which I think I'm right in saying is his first goal since joining the club, but it could be a big one if they can go on and take 3 points from that one, but a long way to go, as there is here, of course, the Rangers leading also by a goal to nil. That's the first goal that's gone in the other games around Scotland, as Aarons has it just inside the Hibs half, forward to the goal scorer Danilo. Now Chermiti picks up and then knocks it back to Danilo. It's a good challenge though, and Clegy might just be offside, but he'll be allowed to continue here. Giga has a great challenge from Giga. He made up a good few yards on him and executed the sliding challenge spot on, actually, because the flag has not yet gone up. That would... Oh, it did go up, Michael, just indicating. But
yeah, but John Beat just waved play on because Giga's tackle had fallen for one of the Rangers players to continue to play. Yeah, great tackle from the defender.
Just did look like Clegy had gone just marginally too soon.
I think so. It would
have been interesting to see had it ended up in the back of the net.
Aye, it would have been, because as much as to the naked eye, you and I think he was probably just off. It would have been interesting to see a replay just to confirm.
In any case, Rangers have it out to the left hand side. Moore's been allowed to drift. He has tended to drift across to this left hand side. Now he finds Danilo in the edge of the box. Chermiti just inside the box on the turn, sends it 2 or 3 yards wide of the far post as far as he was concerned. But again, it's decent link up between, first of all, Moore and Danilo, and then with Chermiti. He gets the shot off, but can't trouble the keeper on that occasion. And it's still after 20 minutes, Hibs 0, Rangers 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's infinitely better from Rangers in possession. And the combinations I'm talking about before, you've got Magoma, who's pushing right up high and forcing Chris Cadden back, and Mikey Moore's just drifting into that sort of outside left position, and he's getting space because Mulligan's not sure whether he's going to go all the way out to him or going to stay more centrally.
Magoma taking on Cadden on the left hand side. Still he has it at the angle of the box. Now it's Barron. Hibs are going to make a change here early on as it balls into the box. Salinger at the second attempt gets it after he was challenged there by Chermiti. It looks like Miguel Chaiwa is going to come on. It's not clear whether this is an enforced change or a tactical switch that David Gray is going to make. It's one of the Caddens that's going to come off. Chris Cadden, who has been booked early on, so I suspect that means Josh Mulligan's going to come across and play right wing back, and Chaiwa will just go into the centre of midfield. I mean, he's on a yellow card. He was getting a relatively tough time, Michael, but that's still like quarter of the game gone. It's very early to make such a change.
Yeah, but obviously David Gray's seen something that he wants to change. Perhaps it's going to be that midfield setup just to get a little bit tighter, but you can even see in this phase of play, Mikey Moore's in a lot of space here, and he's one of the sort of eights that's playing in the midfield three for Rangers. They're both, as I've mentioned before, playing with one sitting and two in front, and out of possession for the Hibs. They've not been able to get a hold of Raskan. He's been able to get it, and then the movement in front of that is pulling them around a little bit. It brings more legs in the side, that's for sure. Mulligan going out and playing right wing back.
Chermiti and Nicky can challenge for the same ball, neither gets it. Comes to Aarons, into Danilo. Bashiri just makes contact quickly enough and effectively enough to manage to get the danger clear, but Raskan picks up, and now it's Barron square to Mikey Moore, about 30 yards from goal, out to the left hand side for Magoma, and he and Mulligan come together, and the referee's going to have to get involved and just have a quiet word in both their ears, I would imagine. I would just wonder,
he doesn't need to get involved, the ref, and he didn't. He came running across and they both disappeared and he just looks like a wee silly kid. He should just have stayed away.
Throwing Rangers then back to Magoma, left hand side. Now it's Barron, plays it back in field to Raskan. He goes back the way to Cornelius, and now Suter steps forward midway inside the Hibs half now, out to the left hand side. It's a good ball to Magoma, takes a touch, swings it into the area, onto the penalty spot, headed away by Iredale. Offside flag is up against Rangers, and it will be a free kick to Hibernian. Over on the left hand side, it looks like it was Magoma who was also. I'm just going to ask you about Magoma in terms of that wing back position. Do you think that suits him a bit better than at full back? I was talking to Billy Dodds on the way through, and he was saying that because there's a little bit less defending to do, that it probably is a bit of a better position for him.
I would agree completely. He's got Cornelius who can effectively flit across to try and help cover him, because defending is not his strong point. He's a young fullback that doesn't recognise the danger, so playing as a wing back certainly it helps him. He's not got the same defensive responsibilities as much.
Here's McGrath, good bit of space, out to the left hand side he goes. Nicky Cadden coming in off the flank, links again with McGrath. McGrath almost at the byline, sends the ball deep. It'll come here to Mulligan. Mulligan nods it back to Chaiwa, the substitute. Spins away from Raskan, back into a busy area, but it's forward to Clichy now. Bowie back for Clichy. Clichy right hand side of the penalty area, touches it to Mulligan. Mulligan looking to get the better of Magoma. Magoma gets a touch on it and he sticks in it well, and he manages to get it forwards, and now Moore for Chermiti. Chermiti held up by Bashiri, but gets it back to Magoma. Magoma infield to Barron, still just outside his own penalty area, and he rolls it back into Jack Butlin, but it is already an obvious, discernible difference in just application, attitude from Rangers, as much as you're talking about, patterns of play and stuff like that. It's clearly important.
You talk about application and attitude. Honestly, players don't go out there, well, 99% of the players, they're not going out there with a bad attitude or they're chucking it. It's being comfortable with what you're trying to do. They clearly did not believe a word that was coming out of the previous manager's mouth. They weren't comfortable, the atmosphere wasn't right, and they looked an absolute shambles. Now they've got a guy who, it would appear, at this stage, they're believing a bit more, and they can understand the message that's coming across.
Here's Magoma forward for Moore, who's been bright in these early stages.
And that plays, sorry Al, but that plays out as looking like their attitude and application's better.
Raskan takes it off Clichy, who stayed down. Rangers continue in possession, and play will continue. Aarons plays it forward for Danilo, challenged well by Iredale. Iredale's done well to dispossess him over on that left hand side for Hibernian. Plays it forward, but Giga's there ahead of Bowie. Barron as well to nudge that back to Raskan, and now it's Suter. Suter out to the right hand side once more for Aarons. Aarons steps away from Cadden. Only one Cadden left on the field now, as Barron tries to slip it back inside, can't get it beyond Barlaza, but it comes for Chermiti eventually. He's lost it but then wins it back, tries to play it back to Aarons. Rangers have done well in a little triangle. Barron for Chermiti into Danilo. Hanley steps in though and wins it.
See that from Grant Hanley? That's what he's offside here, Clegy, but that little passage there from Grant Hanley shows why he's such an important signing for Hibs. He reads the game so well. The ball's out in the wider area. You can see Chermiti's trying to slide it across the face into his teammates' feet. Grant Hanley reads it, he's anticipating, he gets right in and cuts it out, and then Hibs are able to gain possession and build an attack. Comes to nothing but very, very good defending.
Here's Cornelius out to the left hand side, but Mulligan has nicked it from Magoma, now powers forward on his right flank. Infield he comes now, tries to slip it for Bowie, but it just takes a nick off a Rangers player. But Bowie's won it back from Raskan. Infield now it goes to McGrath out to the left hand side to Cadden. Cadden up against Aarons here, up towards the penalty area he comes on the left hand side. Can he get the ball into the box? He can, but Giga clears it.
That's probably one of the aspects that David Gray's thinking about as well. Trying to make Magoma defend, and knowing with Mulligan he's got the legs to go and run him. Cadden's probably not got that.
Nicky Cadden and Aarons have come together on the far side. St Mirren have gone a goal up on the league leaders' Hearts. Rangers have got the free kick here, incidentally. It looked like from this distance, and it is quite a way away, it looked at pretty much a 50-50. Aarons went down a little bit more dramatically, and
Nicky Cadden was in possession as well.
Yeah.
It didn't seem to me as if that was an obvious blow the whistle and give a free kick to the away side there.
Anyway, that's what's happened, and Aarons is back up, not requiring treatment, and Butland's come out of his goal to take this free kick right hand side of his penalty area.
Did you just see that down on the touchline there with Danny Rule and Mikey Moore and Magoma?
No.
Well, it just feeds into exactly what you're seeing, and what I'm looking at and thinking that, there's a lot of pointing, and you can see it was almost, he steps in there, you're going into that pocket of space, and the two of them are nodding their heads as if totally understanding what he's wanting.
Magoma's going to get booked here, just a barge in the back of Chaiwa as he got wrong side of him, and
I'm not sure that's a yellow card. You, Al?
I can see why, but Celtic have gone ahead through Johnny Kenny. I think I was also told the St Mirren goal is Mulundulu. Mulundulu has got that St Mirren goal against Hearts. Johnny Kenny has put Celtic a goal ahead against Falkirk. Aberdeen lead Kilmarnock 1-0 thanks to Stuart Armstrong. 0-0 between Motherwell and Dundee United, and 1-0 Rangers here. So Jayden Magoma in the book for that challenge as McGrath clips it into the area. Hanley's looking to get on the end of it. Giga with an important header. Well, I questioned his place in the Rangers starting 11, or at least posed the question as to did he deserve it, but so far in this game, Michael, he's made 2 or 3 pretty important interventions, but it is a corner to Hibernian.
Yeah, I'm just wondering why Max Aaron's let it go behind for the corner. It looked as if he was there to perhaps put a boot on it, and he just let it drift behind. He must have thought it was a by kick, but it was pretty clear that Giga had won the header.
Yeah, here is the corner on the left hand side, swung in, dangerously tipped behind by Jack Butland as Grant Hanley, I think it was, who got the final touch on the header. Both he and Bashiri were in a dangerous area, but Hanley directed it. Might just have been sneaking inside that post before Butland got the touch, and it's now a corner on this right hand side.
It was a great ball in, great ball. Kieran Bowie looked like he was going to run and get a head on it as well, just slightly over him. Grant Hanley got his head firmly on it, and Butland had to make the save.
Here's Nicky Cadden from the right hand side, another dangerous looking ball. Suter gets something on it, but it's not fully clear as McGrath tries to chip it back into the 6-yard box, straight into the gloves of Jack Butland, and that ultimately comes to nothing, and it's still Hibernian 0. Rangers 1.
Well, the game's bubbling along quite nicely, isn't it? Rangers 1 up, look much improved, but you can see that, you know, this is it's a strong Hibs side as well, and they're clearly still firmly in the game. It's early doors, they're 1-0 down, of course, but this is a really interesting, intriguing game.
Good challenge there from Cornelius on Bowie, and Raskan picks up and plays it into the feet of Chermiti, out to the left hand side for Moore infield to Raskan plays it square to Barron, and then out to the right hand side for Aarons just nudges it back to Giga just inside his own half, right hand side. Suter, the middle of that defensive three for Rangers, has it now and plays it to his left to Cornelius. The Canadian international steps over the halfway line, then leaves it to Magoma. Back in field to Suter. Aarons is just looking to hold his run on that right hand side and hoping for the diagonal from Suter. It doesn't come this time, instead it goes short to Giga and then to Barron on that right hand side, and now it's Aarons about 10 yards inside the Hibs half, tries to clip it forward, but there's too much on it. Poor pass from Max Aarons, easily into the gloves of Raphael Salinger. Still 1-0 Rangers here as Bashiri plays it forward into Chaiwa, substitute early on or midway inside this first period for Chris Cadden, as Hibs look to get back into the game. Suter directs it back to Butland. Raskan under pressure there, he clips it into no man's land, and Berlazer picks it up. This could be dangerous as Jamie McGrath feeds it out to his left hand side. Cadden trying to get the better of Aarons, he does that, but then the cross has got too much on it, but it will come to Mulligan right hand side. He nudges it back to Chaiwa on this right flank, trying to lose Raskan. He's got a couple of yards away from him, then he touches it back for Iredale out to the left hand side to Cadden. Iredale continues his run, Cadden fires it in, Giga with another decent header away, back to Cadden though. Hibs looking to get back on level terms before the interval. 34 minutes gone as Bashiri has it out to the right hand side to Mulligan. Mulligan's given it away, he was looking for Berlazer, found only Raskan. Forward for Chermiti, who
again, good play from Hanley, very poor from Chermiti, I've got to say, but good play. You know, Hibs loose with the pass from Mulligan, but Grant Hanley's in after one pass, wins the ball back, and Hibs are able to build another bit of momentum.
Yeah, Rangers need more from a number 9 in terms of hold up than what Chermiti offered there.
Well, I mean, first of all, it was just a pretty nothing touch, but then he didn't use his body at all to protect the ball.
It's Chaiwa finding McGrath. McGrath's finding plenty of space over in that left pocket, as now it's Cadden who sends it in, but Butland claims that at the edge of his 6-yard box before any of Cadden's Hibs teammates can make up the ground. Bowie was closest to it but was never going to get there ahead of Butland, and so it's still Hibernian 0, Rangers 1 with 10 minutes until the interval.
It was too close to the goalkeeper.
Sounds like Shankland has pulled Hearts level at Smiza Stadium. St Mirren 1, Hearts 1, as Giga gets it to his right to Aarons. Aarons looks for an option, not too many offering themselves ahead of him, so he goes back the way to Suter. He'll bring it out to this left hand side to Cornelius. Cornelius tries to play the channel ball, looking for Chermiti, just a little bit too much on it, and all the way through to Salinger. It just feels like Hibs have...
I was literally, you're just preempting exactly what I was just about to say, Al, that it feels like Hibs have got a bit of a better foothold in the game.
Although they've maybe got a slight break there as Raskan dispossessed Chaiwa, but he's been penalised for the challenge, and so it will be a Hibernian free kick.
Oh, I think it was the next one on Berlaser, no, perhaps?
Could have been, yeah. There was
but I think the first initial challenge on Chaiwa was good. I think he dispossessed them, but Berlaser reading the game well, coming across and filling in. But yeah, it feels like Hibs are just getting a little bit more of a foothold. Quite rightly pointed out, McGrath's picking up some good positions.
Here he is again, losing Barron out to the left hand side. Cadden into the area. Giga nudges it away. Moore's there to help try and tidy up, and he's managed to keep possession pretty coolly on the edge of his box. Chermiti, good ball on this time for Danilo. No other support though for Danilo. He'll come back for a free kick and a yellow card for Hanley for his challenge. That time maybe just a little bit too keen that time to try and nick it from Chermiti, and he fouled him instead.
Yeah, I mean, You can tell that Hibs are feeling a bit better, they're wanting to be aggressive, but I think that one was, well, I mean, it was clearly a foul, and I think the yellow card's probably right as well, because he catches him late. I just don't think he needed to. You know, it was well into Rangers' half. I don't think he had to go full out there to try and win that. It wasn't as if Rangers were about to break on them.
So Rangers free kick, as Michael says, still well inside their own half here. 37 minutes played. Suter takes it away out to the right hand side looking for Aarons. It's gone out of play though before he could head it back in field, and Hibs will have the throw in.
It feels like that early goal from Rangers really rocked Hibs. It allowed Rangers to get into a bit of a rhythm. It took Hibs a little while to sort of assess and understand how to negate it. And certainly the last 10 minutes or so, it feels like Hibs are just starting to build their way into the game a bit more. Very, very evenly balanced contest here, but clearly Rangers will be delighted that they're 1-0 up here.
Yeah, an equaliser before half-time could make all the difference. But to be fair, although there's been a narrative, and I think it's a relatively fair narrative, that Rangers are pretty still unstable defensively, fairly weak coming into this game. I think only Hearts had a better defensive record than them in the league, certainly. But Jack Butland's only been called upon a couple of times, and those were shots straight at him so far this evening. Hibs will be looking to rectify that before the night is out, as Mikey Moore plays it back to Cornelius. Pressure by Bowie, not all that much pressure, but in the fashion we so often see, Cornelius goes down and the free kick is awarded.
Celtic had a better defensive record than them as well, Al.
Johnny Kenny, talking of Celtic, has put Celtic 2 up on Falkirk, and Martin O'Neill's return to management at Celtic Park. Yeah, that's why I should look at my notes before I give out a statistic, rather than just try and do it off the top of my head. So yeah, Hearts and Celtic, but here come Rangers in a forward motion at the moment. Moore do well to get on the end of that. It wasn't a great ball from Chermiti again, and it's harmlessly behind as Bashiri just shepherds it for a goal kick, and it's still Hibs still Rangers 1 with 5.5 minutes left of this first period, which has been a really gripping watch, you would have to say.
Yeah, it has. It's been entertaining, fast paced. Probably would want a few more strikes on goal, but there's been a few of them. But there's a really interesting little dynamic to the game. You can see both sides well set up, little tactical battles right across the park here.
Raskan out to the right hand side for Aarons, up against,
he'll go back.
Cadden. Yeah, does go back to Giga, into Raskan, who also goes back to Suter out to the left hand side on the halfway line. It's Cornelius, tries to step away from Bowie. Great work from Bowie.
It was a good ball to
he's
Chaiwa.
caught there by Cornelius as well, and John Beaton's going to show the yellow card to Cornelius here as well for that challenge. A little bit naughty after Bowie had come back and worked well to win possession back for his side, and he's still down holding his right leg.
I didn't actually see it. I didn't see the challenge, but it was good defensive play from Kieran Bowie. I mean, Max Aarons is an interesting one here. I mean, clearly Danny Rowell's wanting to rest his captain, but I mean, he'll never play the ball forward. You look at Magoma playing wing back, he's wanting to try and bounce it off the front men, he's wanting to go forward. Max Aarons it looks like he's petrified of playing a forward pass.
Here's McGrath again, picking up a decent pocket of space, but his ultimate pass for Clichy is not a good one. But it's strange that Rangers have not recognised, or they've not done anything about the fact that he's continually picking up possession in pretty much a similar part of the pitch every single time. Here's a ball into Chermiti, slips but manages to spin away from Barlaser as he regains his footing. Then he's tripped by McGrath. Barron wants to take that quickly, but he won't be able to. And Rangers will have the free kick.
I think the fact he slipped actually helped him, didn't it? Because it looked as if Barlaser was going to come across and shut him down. And then all of a sudden he squirmed away out the other side.
Rangers have it on the halfway line. It's Suter to his left to Cornelius. Cornelius calls Magoma to him, then he just nudges it down the line, but out of play off Mulligan, I think, and so it will be a Rangers throw in midway inside the Hibernian half, left hand side. Rangers looking to inflict Hibs' first defeat here in the league in almost a year. They lead by a goal to nil as Suter has it just inside his own half, just touches it back the way to Giga and then to his right to Aarons, who steps away from Clichy into a more central area, and he tries to angle it out to this left hand side. It's over Moore, but Magoma reaches it but can't keep it in play, and it's out for a Hibs throw deep in their own half here. It wasn't a bad ball, that one from Aarons, just a little bit too much on it.
Forward as well.
Oh, yes indeed. As Mulligan then prepares to take the throw in here, about 10 yards, 15 perhaps from his own corner flag. Magoma gets first contact on it. Danilo, the goal scorer, nods it down for Moore. Moore tries to spin away from Bashiri, who does well to win possession and then get it to Mulligan, and then gets it back and plays it to Chaiwa that time. And now it's Iredale just at the edge of his box, turns away from Danilo. Motherwell have gone a goal up on Dundee United, so it's goals in all the games for all you people who want to watch Sports Scene later on tonight. 10:45 on BBC One Scotland. Mazwanisi with the goal to put Motherwell in front of Dundee United. Hibs have it at the back. It's the goalkeeper Raphael Salinger, but 10 yards outside of his own area, and played back to him by Iredale. And now Hanley. 1-0 Rangers as we enter the final minute of the opening 45, plus a minute to be added on here as the ball goes out for a Hibernian goal kick. And yeah, very little to choose between the sides. Rangers with the goal advantage thanks to Danilo's excellent finish 5 minutes in, but Hibs have been very much in the game since then, and have had a couple of chances of their own, yet to convert one. Here's Chaiwa picking up on the left hand side, trying to spin away from Danilo. Hanley out to the right hand side for Bashiri. Bashiri forward to Mulligan, infield once more to Chaiwa. Did he take a nudge there from Barron? Yeah, well, the referee's given the free kick.
Connor Barron's not complaining too much, but I tell you, there wasn't a great deal in it. There wasn't loads in it. But I mean, I really like the setup of Hibs, but you know, it's evolved and changed since this time last year when they went to that 3, but they're a really good, balanced and well coached side.
Magoma gets his head to the ball forward from Chaiwa, knocks it out of play. Mulligan's in a hurry to try and take this throw, and as Hibs look for an equaliser in the last minute or so of this first period. Chaiwa for Barlaser. Barlaser steps forward. Oh, it's a poor choice of pass. Danilo's stolen it. Doesn't give Chermiti much to work with there though, and Hanley wins it, and then Bashiri thumps it forwards. Cornelius will go and chase this with Bowie putting him under pressure. Cornelius gets the first touch on it, and Magoma, well, what's Magoma doing there? He's already been booked, and the assistant referee is looking at that, and if he thinks that's a yellow card, then Magoma's got to walk here. I mean, why is he not just going to play the ball there?
I don't. I mean, I've got to be honest. It didn't look like a great deal, but the linesman standing there, 3 yards away, and if that is a foul, then I'm very surprised he's getting away with it. I'll be honest. I just thought Kieran Bowie jumped up in the air. I didn't think there was much in it. Yeah. But if the officials have decided it's a free kick, he's very fortunate.
He is fortunate, but also kind of brings it on himself by just not going and dealing with the ball.
Totally.
He lets Bowie in front of him.
Absolutely. We're hearing that potentially his arm was into the striker's neck there.
Yeah, well,
so feeds into what we're saying.
Yeah,
looks
absolutely.
like he's fortunate.
Absolutely. Well, Hibs have a free kick. This is going to be the last act, you would imagine, of the first half. Cadden swings it in to the back post. Good take from Butland, just inside his own 6-yard box, and there won't be too much more. In fact, there'll be nothing more of this first period as Rangers take in a 1-goal lead at the interval, provided for them by Danilo inside 5 minutes. Fabulous finish on the edge of the box onto his left foot with the first touch, and he swept it into the bottom corner away from the dive of Raphael Salinger to give himself a second goal in 2 games. And McGrath responded for Hibernian, but his shot was straight at Butland. At the other end, Moore had an effort tipped wide. Magoma had a volley saved by Salinger. And then just after a half hour, there was a Hanley header came in. It was tipped wide by Butland as Hibs pressed for that leveller. It hasn't come yet, but there's still every chance they could grab it in the second period in what is a game that is still in the balance, you would have to say. At half-time here at Easter Road, it is Hibernian 0, Rangers 1, as we rejoin Richard Gordon and open all mics.
Hibernian versus Rangers.
Punches a shot and goal!
The Scottish Premiership, live on Sports Sound.
He's at the edge of the box!
Where Scottish football lives.
And swam 1,000 miles. This time, we're going to attempt to walk it.
There is a catch, though. BBC Radio Scotland needs to walk 25 miles over 2 days, 3-legged.
I'm Judith Ralston, and on the team with me will be Phil Goodlad.
And when the challenge starts, we'll be heading for the Kelpies in Falkirk, hopefully with some sunshine as well.
The 1,000-mile challenge for BBC Children in Need. To find out more, head to bbc.co.uk/walk. BBC Radio Scotland.
In the EFL Cup this evening, half-time is Arsenal 0, Brighton 0. It is Liverpool 0, Crystal Palace 2 at Anfield. Ismail Assar with both goals for Palace. Liverpool started Calvin Ramsey in that one. Swansea City 1, Manchester City 1. Franco for the home side. Doku levelling before the break. Wolves 0, Chelsea 3. So the visitors strolling to victory there. Santos, George and Estevao were the goals in that one. And Newcastle United 1-0 up against Tottenham Hotspur in that one at St James's Park. Fabian Schär with the only goal so far there. So let's get round our 5 Premiership encounters this evening. We'll start at Celtic Park, where people who have been tuned into Extra have been enjoying the commentary of Liam McLeod.
Well, 7,473 days since Martin O'Neill last took charge of a game here at Celtic Park, and he is absolutely delighted because the man with the highest winning percentage in Celtic managerial history is winning 2-0 at half-time. Falkirk started the game pretty well. They were bedded in nicely. They were threatening early in the piece. A couple of efforts. Scott Arfield inside the first couple of minutes with a Nygren header was saved up the other end. But there were other opportunities, and was a snapshot from Mugen Suyi, who forced a save out of Kasper Schmeichel with that loan spell at Falkirk all those years ago in his young playing days at Manchester City. But Johnny Kenny's the hero for Celtic. He scored both goals, and he came in the 30th and 40th minute. The first on the rebound from a Nygren effort, which was brilliantly saved onto the post by Bain. It bounced back to Kenny, what all good strikers should be, and he dumped it into the net to make it 1-0 for his second of the season. His third of the season wasn't too long in coming either. It's good play again by Celtic down that left-hand side. Nygren with a header down for Kenny, who stooped to head it into the far right corner of the net. Will do his confidence the world of good. He'll be eyeing up a hat-trick now as well. Celtic have had other opportunities. Benjamin Nygren has spurned a couple of glorious chances, but it is all good for Celtic this evening. Killian Sheridan, John McGlynn will be disappointed with the chances his team is coughing up, the goals that they've conceded. Celtic at times has been flashes of what they're all about, hasn't there, tonight, despite Falkirk starting the game well.
Yeah, Falkirk first 20 minutes looked good, looked comfortable, played out through Celtic's press a few times, created some chances of their own. Kasper Schmeichel had to make a good save, one or two, But I just got the feeling Celtic capitalised when there was that little sense of they were starting to break Falkirk a little bit and create more chances. Like I said, Nygren had a few good chances where he should have done better. But it'll be about Johnny Kenny. He was there. He was alert when he needed to be. Not really involved in the game much, but if you're winning 2-0 and you've scored the 2 goals, then it doesn't matter your involvement. You're the main guy.
Yeah, you're going back to 2007 to find March 2007 to find a Falkirk win over Celtic. Kasper Schmeichel keeping a clean sheet for the Bairns that day. It's a long way back for the comeback kings of the Premiership, though, Richard. Falkirk, they've been behind in every game bar one, and they've picked up plenty of results from positions where they've been behind. It's going to be a tall order in the second half, where half time it is Celtic 2, Falkirk 0.
Johnny Kenny with both goals for Celtic in that one. So let's go next to Paisley, where it is St Mirren against Hearts. Ian, 1-1 at half time.
Yeah, it's been a good game, Richard. I think Hearts had to sort out a problem in the first 10-15 minutes. McEntee, the right back, was getting pulled in by Halkett way too narrow, and basically Harry Milne was just going all the way back, almost playing like an auxiliary right back, with Declan John pushing really high. When Hearts got that sorted, they became more dangerous. I think St Mirren have probably edged it, but Hearts really look a threat going forward. There was about a couple of kind of half chances. Mark O'Hara had a really good chance for the home side. It was a set routine from a corner, but it was played to the edge of the box rather than play in for the big guys, and he just didn't go over it, hit it over over the bar in the half volley. And then you all saw the one in the studio, Benny Beningame. It was a great run forward along Shackman, picked him out. He showed great skill. He's been terrific in the first half, and he's just curled it off the inside of the post. And I think just as Hearts were coming into it, the goal came absolutely out of the blue. It was just a bog standard cross. I think it may have been by Phillips into the box, not even from a good angle. It fell to Lindelof, and he just overhead kicked it. He couldn't. There's no way he could get any power because there was no power in the ball, and he's just lifted it into the far top corner for a quite magnificent strike. It was only there for about 5 minutes though, and Hearts got an equaliser. McMenamin, who's playing right wing back for St Mirren, probably not his best position. He's teed Lawrence Shankland up in the box, and Lawrence was not going to miss that, and he's tucked it away with great composure. I think Hearts look really, really strong, but it's a really good St Mirren side, and it's a really interesting second half to come. It's 1-1 in Paisley.
Yeah, it's been all action. Remember, highlights from all 5 games on Sports Scene tonight, 10:45 on BBC One Scotland. So let's go to Billy Dodds, who's been enjoying the affair, I think, at Easter Road.
Yeah, it's been a really good game, Richard. Is this for a half-time report? I thought Alistair were doing it. You just want a little
I was
summary.
told the open all micers would be helping me out throughout the course, so of this little part of the programme. So I've turned to you. It's up to you. If you want Alistair Lambert to do it, you get Al to do it.
I have just been down to the restrooms and just come back up and sat down.
I'm delighted. I'm delighted you've made it back up from the restroom. Meantime, Al Lambert, can you? We don't even have Al Lambert. He's not available to us. So, Billy, do you want a moment or two just to gather your thoughts, and then I'll come back to you?
No, it's it.
Right, I'm going to.
I've taken Billy's microphone from him.
Ah, look at that!
And
what a
I'll dig him out of that massive hole he's
professional.
managed to get himself in.
What a mess.
Indeed. Anyway, it's been a fascinating game here, I have to say. I'm sure that's what Billy would have told you as well. Really, a really good watch. Rangers, though, got the all-important goal early doors. Danilo with an absolutely fabulous finish from the edge of the box, left-footed into the bottom corner, beating Rafael Salinger. And that definitely gave Rangers a lift. They were the better team for that opening part of the game. But Hibs gradually came back into it and had a couple of chances of their own. Probably the closest they came to a goal was a Grant Hanley header at the back post, which Butland tipped wide. Not entirely sure if it was going to creep inside the post or otherwise, but Butland made sure and turned it round for a corner. But a very even game, you would have to say. Rangers much improved from the Rangers we saw under Russell Martin. This is my first viewing of them under Danny Rule, and there's so much more to admire about them. But Hibs, as we've seen, well, for the last year or so under David Gray, a really well organised unit. Plenty of threat from them, and you wouldn't be too surprised if they go and get a goal in the second half. But at half time, as Billy Dodds would also be able to tell you, it's Hibernian 0, Rangers 1.
And Hibernian looking to preserve that unbeaten home record in the league. It stretches back almost a whole calendar year. Right, no, there will be no confusion at Rugby Park, where the half-time report will indeed come from Willie Miller.
I've actually got a punter here, Richard, that's volunteered to do my report on my behalf. Do you want to hear from him? If not, then I'll go ahead and give you
Willie.
A little summation of what's actually happened. In terms of possession, it's been roughly even, I would suggest, although Aberdeen started the game with much more intent than Kilmarnock did. The goal came, it is 1-0 at half-time. The goal came, it was Stuart Armstrong that took the opportunity as Marko Lacetic looked as though he was in offside position. It was Carlson that came in from the left-hand side. He struck the ball, it took a deflection. Lacetic is on the way out, not interfering in any shape or form with the play. It fell to Stuart Armstrong, and he took it with the instep. He kind of volleyed it into the ground, and as it went into the ground, it bounced over Oluwemi in goal and nestled in the back of the net to give Aberdeen at that stage a deserved lead. Kilmarnock did come into it, but I don't think they've got the same threat in the final third. They've had enough of the ball. The midfield has been decent. Greg Kilkie, prominent. David Watson and Brad Lyons, prominent in that area at times, but no real threat in the box. Marcus Dackers haven't had an opportunity at all. So as far as the home side is concerned, they haven't created enough to say that Aberdeen shouldn't be 1-0 up at half-time. For Aberdeen, I think Stuart Armstrong has been the man of the match. He certainly took my eye, that's for sure. A very delicate type of player, always on his toes, good touch, excellent way to pass forward as well to bring Carlson and Lacetic into the game. So I think at half-time there's not too much in it, and it could go either way, but I do feel that Aberdeen have had the upper hand in the first half, and they certainly took advantage of that goal by Stuart Armstrong. 1-0 here for the visitors.
Right, Willie, thank you. We'll get the half-time report from Fir Park in just a moment or two, but they're back out at Celtic Park, so we need to split so that we can give you the options to listen into the various commentaries. So Celtic against Falkirk live on BBC Radio Scotland Medium Wave, also live on Radio Scotland Extra on BBC Sounds. Online you'll get St Mirren against Hearts and Hibernian against Rangers. That's at bbc.co.uk/sportscotland. On FM, online, and of course on BBC Radio Scotland on Sounds, you can find Open All Mics.
Hibernian versus Rangers.
Punches a shot and goal! The Scottish Premiership, live on Sports Sound.
Where Scottish football lives.
Welcome back to Easter Road, where the half-time scoreline is Hibernian 0, Rangers 1, and neither side back out on the field of play. Still the substitutes warming up, and Michael Stewart, you were looking down at the warm-ups being done here by James Tavernier and Jerry Gassama, and you reckon it looks like they're going to come on at the interval?
Well, possibly. I mean, their warm-up is different from everyone else. They were doing a fair bit more intense work with what looks like the sort of fitness coach. And Danny Rule's actually now at the side there talking to Gassama and James Tavernier. Not going to be coming on at half-time because it doesn't look like they're stripped. Or no, actually they are. Yep, could well be exactly this now. Tavernier's just taking his jersey off. His strips on. He's got the captain's armband on.
It looks like, certainly Aaron's will make way for Tavernier, which is a straight enough swap, but it looks like Danilo's the one who's not emerged from the dressing room as the other one, because Chermiti's out there, and so is Mikey Moore. So it looks like Gassama's going to come on for Danilo. You can only imagine that that's an injury, because or maybe he's again looking at Sunday, because if we're talking about in terms of performances and you want to change, it's Magoma that Tavernier's coming on for.
Aaron's has gone over to the left.
Going to the left hand side. Right, okay. Well, I guess he is on a yellow card, and and might well have picked up a second yellow card from what we could see at the end of that first period. So
100%, that's what was clearly concerned about.
Yeah,
where he was on the edge.
Yeah, because he played actually all right, especially going forward. But just in terms of that Gassama for Danilo, I mean, if you're, as I say, in terms of performance, if you're changing one of your strikers, Danilo's not the one you would take off.
The other one would be.
I would say so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Based on that first 45. But that's not the way it's gone, so we'll see how that alters Rangers' shape, if at all. Obviously, Gassama not an out-and-out striker in the way that Danilo is. So a double change for Rangers at the interval. No further changes for Hibs, who, remember, replaced Kiskadden with Chaiwa midway through the first period. So 1-0 Rangers as Hibernian look to get us back underway. They'll go from right to left in the second period as we look at it from high up in their position at the back of the main stand.
Well, you've got to say that left-hand side is clearly where they were starting to get a bit of joy with Mulligan down there anyway. Up against Max Aarons, you would say, go and get at him.
Yeah, 100%. And here's Cornelius left-hand side. Plays it forwards with Aarons on the chase. Mikey Moore beaten to it. Falls for Raskan in the middle of the park. Gets it forward to Chermiti. Moore back to Chermiti. Then breaks for McGrath and Chaiwa with a poor touch, but John Beaton's given Hibs a free kick for the previous challenge on McGrath, and it will be a Hibs free kick about 15 yards or so inside their own half. Looks like Moore's going to be closest to Chermiti in terms of a second striker.
No, I think they're just going to play like either side, two inside
tens,
forwards.
Yeah. Gassama and Moore.
Because I think Danny Rose obviously felt they were just starting to lose control of the middle of the park a wee bit.
Rangers get the free kick this time for the challenge there by Hanley on Gassama, who...
Barlasso's complaining because, I mean, certainly from up here it looked like Chermiti had come across and fouled him, played on, and then the next contact has been given as a free kick for Rangers.
Tavernier then over the free kick. Very central area, midway inside the Hibs half. The Hibs analysis team to our right certainly can't believe that has gone in Rangers' favour. It's clipped into the area, and Cornelius is close to getting on the end of that from Tavernier, but just couldn't stab it goalwards, and Salinger collects. It's a let off for Hibernian because Cornelius, as he did at the weekend, was close to tapping that into the net. Hibs survive though, 1-0 Rangers at the start of this second period. Into Clichy it goes, now Chaiwa midway inside the Rangers half. Moore working back the way, but Chaiwa gets out to Mulligan, continues his own run. Chaiwa out on the right hand side looking to take on Cornelius. He's got the better of him. Now he's into the penalty area, right hand side, across goal. Clichy couldn't turn it in.
How's that not going in?
And it's going to be a goal kick in the end. Well, Clichy at the near post looked like all he needed to do was get something on it to touch it over the line, but somehow it's squirmed wrong side of the post, and it remains Hibernian 0, Rangers 1. I don't know is the answer to your question.
I'm flabbergasted that that's not going in the back of the net. I don't quite understand how they've not scored there.
Well, Clichy, who's got a couple of goals in his last two games, could well have had a third there, but that's a terrible clearance from Butland, almost cut out there, but the Rangers fortunately managed to clear it, and then Tavernier's caught late by Iredale. It will be a Rangers free kick midway inside their own half. And the second half has started no less frenetically than the first half was contested for the most part, as Gassama then picks up the ball back to Tavernier on the halfway line. I must say that any time I've seen Gassama, he's been far more effective on the left hand side than he is on this right. Hibs giving the ball away cheaply again, but Hanley steps in, but Barron feeds it forward, and Gassama could be in. He might be offside, but play continues. It's Gassama on the edge of the 6-yard box. He slips and can't get his shot away.
The referee's, the linesman's got to put his flag up.
No, he's pointing for the corner. I wasn't sure if he was definitely offside, but the assistant has...
No, but then I'm thinking, is he not just I mean, should he, even though it's gone behind for the corner? Is it one of those?
No, he should definitely, if he thinks it was offside, he would definitely then do it.
I'm not offside, he looked a mile off.
Well, Rangers get the benefit of the doubt there again, as the corner's about to be taken by James Tavernier, right hand side. Rangers looking for a second goal. That's straight into the arms very comfortably of Salinger, who then is knocked to the ground. How did that come about? Raskan seems to be limping away there. I'm not entirely sure what happened. It was assuming a coming together there between Salinger and Raskan. But in the end, John Beaton just gives the free kick to Hibernian. But the home fans not happy by the way things are going at the start of this second period, mainly because of the decisions. I think it remains 1-0 Rangers, but really you wouldn't bet against any outcome. But Aarons has dispossessed Hibs in the middle of the park, but then Tavernier gives it away to Hanley, and now Hibs can start another counter-attack through Mulligan out to the right hand side. Bowie just keeps that in play, and then there's a wonderful switch of play out to this near side for Nicky Cadden, who slides it across the 6-yard box, and Giga with the outstretched leg knocks it behind for a corner. It's another really good interception actually by Nasser Giga, who's having his best game in a Rangers jersey that I've seen, and that's one of those ones that could have gone in, could have gone anywhere, could have gone in the back of his own net, but he got enough on it to guide it behind for a corner, which is about to be taken by Jamie McGrath on this left hand side.
David Gray will just be frustrated that Hibs have not been able to get themselves on the score sheet. There's plenty of aspects of the game that are starting to come together, but they need to be really troubling Butland more.
And it comes from McGrath to the edge of the 6-yard box. It's headed away by the Rangers defence, and now Barron will try and latch on to the ball, but the referee has stopped play, and he's disappointed because it's a head knock. The home fans again displeased by that, but
yeah, it's a head knock. He's got to stop the game. I mean, I didn't see the challenge, but the Rangers players down in the box, to all intents and purposes, he may well be thinking that his side are actually breaking up the park. So it's not even one of those where it's like he's gone down. Yeah, as you see some players now, they're going down clearly, trying to almost fool the goalkeeper, the referee, into stopping the game.
Yeah, it's Max Aarons who was down. He's back. He doesn't need any attention from the medical team, so it will be a drop ball in Hibs' favour at the halfway line, more or less, and that's the game back underway as Cadden rolls it back to Iredale. 1-0 Rangers with almost 52 played here at Easter Road. Rangers have got such a good record here in recent times, and they're looking to continue that and begin to climb the table. Hibernian starting the evening in third place and looking to keep pace with Celtic at least, if not Hearts, who've got themselves level in that first period away to St Mirren, and we're looking to try and take all 3 points, with especially with Celtic leading 2-0 against Falkirk. Here's Hanley at the edge of his own penalty area, plays it into the feet of Chaiwa. Barlaser makes a move ahead of him. Chaiwa with a poor ball forward, easily cut out by Giga, but Barron can't get onto that, and Hibs have it back, and it's Iredale out to the left hand side to Cadden. Cadden coming forward down that left flank. Tavernier trying to stick with him. Cadden tries to dig out the cross. He's not quite managed to get enough whip on it, and it's onto the roof of the net behind for a goal kick to Rangers. 1-0 the visitors lead.
It's the first time in a long while though I've seen Nicky Cadden actually open his legs though and try to get down the line. Didn't get his boot wrapped round it, but it's more positive play from Hibs.
Butland out to Giga, right hand side, into the feet of Gassama. Gassama with Barlaser right at his back, goes back the way to Suter, forward to Barron, who's got a bit of space here, and he tries to burst forward to Chermiti now. Chermiti up towards the edge of the box, up against Hanley, tries to dummy him into the left foot, but I'm not sure what he's trying to do at the end there. Then he rugby tackles Bashiri to the ground, and it's a free kick to Hibs, but Chermiti continues to flatter, to deceive in a Rangers jersey, and you have to wonder what is going through the mind of Bojan Majowski, warming the bench again, as Chermiti, albeit got his Rangers first goal at the weekend.
That was, he struck it cleanly, but Eddie Beach certainly helped him out a fair bit. It just looks like he's very unorthodox. looks as if he's not got, you know, a clear idea in his head what it is he's trying to do when he does pick the ball up.
Barron's going to go into the book here for a pull back on McGrath. I did say in the first half Rangers have got a pretty decent defensive record in the league this season, but you never feel that one goal is going to be enough for them to win a game. They definitely need a second goal to give themselves some sort of comfort here. As things stand, Hibernian well in contention to get something from this game. It's Iredale sweeping it towards the back post. Was there a pull there on Mulligan as he came in? That's certainly the cry from the Hibs fans. Nothing doing according to the officials at this stage, as Mikey Moore brings the ball clear and he steps away there nicely from the first marker. Chaiwa trying to get back with him. Still it's Moore carrying the ball well. Still he's going Moore. He's into the box. Bashiri trying to get back at him. Moore cuts it back only to Barlaza, and Hibs will tidy that up. Chermiti puts in the challenge, and that'll be a free kick to Hibs. But what a run that was from Mikey Moore. In the end, he couldn't produce the final ball. St Mirren have gone 2-1 up on Hearts. And Frickleton and 3-0 Celtic against Falkirk. Martin O'Neill effect. 1-0 Rangers leads here at Easter Road, as you'd assume that whatever that pull was in the Rangers box a couple of minutes ago wasn't enough for VAR to ask John Beaton to come and have another look.
To be fair, Mulligan didn't really complain either. It's just you could see him coming in towards the back post, coming together of the two players, and he went down. It was almost just caught out the corner of your eye because the ball was elsewhere. But clearly there was not enough in it.
Here's Bowie, nudges it back to Cadden. McGrath makes the run beyond. Suter just sees that back to his goalkeeper, and Butland grabs it and then rolls it out to Cornelius. I've just got a feeling that there's going to be a red card in this game. There's quite a few yellows already being dished out. The game being so finely balanced, both sets of players very committed in search of the 3 points. Just feels like there's something like that in the air as Shiga again reads it well and steps in front of Bowie, knocks it out of play.
Yeah, everything just feels a little bit on edge. Hibs' performance feels like they're on edge of getting a goal, but then equally you think to yourself, Rangers could go up the other end and nick themselves a second. And likewise, just with a challenge, you know, I think like you're mentioning there, it feels like potentially somebody else could be picking up a second yellow. It's all bubbling along quite nicely, the game. But it's been like that, you know, probably since about 15 minutes in.
Yeah, it's been a good watch. Here's McGrath, sends it forward. Cleachy gives chase, but even his pace won't take him onto the end of that one, and Butland grabs it and rolls it out to Suter. I mentioned that Rangers need a second goal, partly because they've scored and conceded in their last 16 away league games, although they've only lost one of those. But it's the longest run of having both scored and conceded away from home in the league since going back to 1895 to 1897, when they did it in 22 consecutive games. They've only scored tonight though, not conceded, and if they can keep it that way, they will win in the back-to-back games in the Premiership for the first time this season. It's Cornelius in possession on the left-hand side. McGrath tries to get there before Barron, knocks it out of play. It'll be a Rangers throw-in, more or less on the halfway line. Aarons to take this one just inside his own half. Danilo's goal in 5 minutes still separates the sides. That's a clever throw in from Aarons, and Barron bursts forward. Can he pick out a teammate? He checks again onto the right foot, blocked by Bashiri. That was certainly good on target from Barron. It was a really good run from him as Giga has to come across and now. Well, Bashiri's down, so the referee has stopped play. This is a surprising scoreline coming in from Paisley. It's now Hearts, St Mirren 3, Hearts 1. Frickleton's got a second. So St Mirren, who'd been on a poor run of late against Hearts, had been pretty much invincible. And they trail by 3-1, and it's the only place they've come a cropper this season at all in any competition, losing in the League Cup on penalties. But they look like they're going to lose unless they can produce something of a revival in the closing half hour. Bashiri's receiving a bit of attention here inside his own penalty area, so other players getting an opportunity to get some fluids on. And still it remains Hibernian 0, Rangers 1 as we approach the hour mark here at Easter Road. It's going to be a throw into Hibernian to restart us here on the left hand side. Nicky Cadden to take midway inside his own half. Cadden looking for an option down that left flank. Bowie can't get anything on it. Giga nudges it back to Suter. Suter in turn plays it to Butland, who immediately plays it out to Aaron's left hand side. He's closed down by Chaiwa, makes the challenge on him. It comes off Chaiwa and out for a throw in over on the far side. Do you envisage changes perhaps from Hibernian in the next few minutes, Michael, as they clearly search for at least an equaliser in this game? There have various options, haven't they?
Yeah, they do, but I just think that look for a wee bit more from Mulligan, for example, on that right. Try and get right after Max Aarons at left wing back that I was talking about. They've changed obviously the setup in the middle of the park, which has helped them in the first half there. Berlasser's looking a little bit leggy the last sort of 5 minutes or so, but there's nobody that's obviously going to go and step in there as a defensive midfielder.
No.
And then the obvious changes, are at the top end of the park where Martin Boyle could come on.
Yeah.
Junior Hoylett could likewise. But,
yeah, Ellie Ewan as well got his goal at the weekend.
Yeah.
So they've definitely got attacking options, that's for sure. Plenty of firepower on that bench as Rangers pick up possession through Gassama, left hand side. Squeezes it into Chermiti, who was on his heels though, as Gassama tried to play the 1-2. Suter wins the aerial battle there with Clige, who's rolling about.
The referee, I mean, there's a couple of occasions where he's not given Hibs free kicks for what I would suggest is probably the right decision, going down too easily. And then Cornelius just falls down as soon as the Hibs player's anywhere near him. You know, if he's going to do that in terms of letting the game play and not giving free kicks for players going down too easy, it has to be consistent with it.
Hibs are going to make a change, and it is indeed Ellie Ewan who's going to come on. Cliche looks in some distress. Belatedly, that St Mirren third goal has been chopped off, so it's only 2-1 to St Mirren against Hearts. Offside in that one, so 2-1 St Mirren as Boyle. Oh, in fact, it's a triple change. So who we got? Well, it's all three of the attacking players who we're talking about. Hoylett, Boyle and Ewan are going to come on. Barlaza is one of the players who's going to come off. Kieran Bowie is also going to make way. And the third change.
Attacking, very attacking.
Let's see who the third player who's going to come off is. I've only seen two go up so far.
Yeah, they're just taking two off and putting three on. It's Clige on the far side.
I see. And there's Tello Asgar is also coming on for Mikey Moore for Rangers. So plenty of changes. Let's see how That affects the flow of the game. Mikey Moore, I thought it's been pretty live again, pretty much as good as I've seen him in a Rangers jersey.
Yeah.
Not convinced though?
No, I mean, I don't want to be too, he's a very young kid, but I think it just speaks to, the whole thing about you're bringing up very, very young kids to try and impose themselves in a difficult environment. I think you're right, he was getting involved more, but wasn't outstanding.
No.
Yeah.
No, not outstanding, but I just thought a bit livelier and more involved. But,
yes, I would agree with that. Yeah.
But as you say, it was a fairly low bar for most of these players, given the start of the season the team have made. So Rangers won up here at Easter Road with about 25 to play, plus a fair bit of added on time already, you would imagine.
You can understand why David Gray was looking to try and inject a little bit more energy at the top end of the park, probably because it just feels like they're needing a spark from somewhere to really get them back into this.
There's Gassama on the right hand side, Iredale with him. Gassama tries to turn inside him, but Iredale sticks to his task well, still has it, and manages to keep it inside his own penalty area and get it to Chaiwa, and then hammered forward. Cornelius takes a good touch and plays it to Suter, who goes back to Butland under pressure from Boyle. You can be sure that this Rangers defence are going to get no peace from the likes of Martin Boyle in the closing stages, as Chermiti toils to keep hold of possession.
Honestly,
gets a free kick.
John Beaton's yards away, so perhaps he's seen something else, but that was just a terrible touch from Chermiti. It's a simple ball up to him and he couldn't control it. He's got Grant Hanlon behind him, and was it Junior Hoyle that was sort of snapping in from the front as well. He's very fortunate.
Free kick taken by Suter out to the right hand side, won by Cadden. Barron trying to pick up the loose ball. He's done well there against McGrath, and then Hoylett. McGrath stayed down. I think he's holding his head, so that should be a stoppage. John Beaton has now had his attention drawn to it by the assistant, I think, and the game has stopped once more. It has been a little bit stop-start in the second half.
More so just the last sort of 5-10 minutes has been stop-start.
No attention required for Jamie McGrath, but continues to hold his head as he gets to his feet, but it will be restarted with a throw-in over on the far side. Still unclear. I think it's going to be a Hibs throw-in, is it? Yeah, Hibs throw-in over on the far side, their right-hand side, but they've given it back to Rangers.
Yeah, Raskin kicked
knocked
it
out of play.
He kicked it out, yeah.
Here's Suter then, midway inside his own half. Both sides looking for further goals. Well, Rangers looking for further goals. Hibs looking for a goal at least, as Asgard tries to get the better there of Chaiwa. Chaiwa though wins it from him, then is fouled, and Hibs have the free kick midway inside their own half. Hibs in a hurry here with a quarter of the game to go. Here's Bashiri midway inside his own half, out to the right hand side for Mulligan. Mulligan clips it into Boyle's chest. Boyle tries to spin away from Giga. He makes the challenge. He's done well again there, Giga. He's barely put a foot wrong this evening, the big defender.
That was good, wasn't it? Because it looked as if Martin Boyle had spun away from him.
Yeah.
That's not great though from Raskin.
Not trying to flip it out to this right hand side for Tavernier, but it's far too much on it. Throw-in's quickly taken for McGrath. McGrath left hand side, squeezes it back, but Barron's there ahead of Cadden, and Rangers clear up towards Chermiti. Chest and then header back to Gassama. So again a little bit unorthodox, but he manages to get it back to Gassama this time, but he's run into Hoylett, and Hibs have it back once more. Barron's dispossessed Chaiwa. Barron's another one who's having a pretty good game there, tenacious, and Rangers have it through Raskin. Raskan for Shiga, midway inside his own half, out to the right for Tavernier, back in field to Suter, maybe just a little bit too much on that. Suter gets there just ahead of Hoylett. Tavernier offers the hand of apology, forcing Suter to rush there. Out of play on the far side, it's thrown to Rangers. Aarons wants to take it quickly, not too many options for him to do so though, and in the end Oscar makes the run forward and he picks it up. That's a couple of times the Rangers have played that similar throw-in and puts them in a decent position. Hearts have equalised. Braga on the score sheet once more for Derek McInnes' side, the league leaders back in level terms. Here's Oscar, left hand side for Rangers. Tavernier gets it back from Chermiti, then nudges it back to Raskan. Tavernier once more. Rangers going back the way though. As Suter picks up and plays it to his left to Cornelius. Now he steps forward. Aarons takes it on away from Yuan. Infield to Chermiti. Not sure he meant that, but almost. Now he's getting a free kick.
Well, it happens quite often with Chermiti where it looks like a bad touch, but it leads the opposition to misreading what actually has happened, and he gets away, and he gets fortunate. I think in the end it probably is a free kick because David McGrath, he's going to try and block where the ball should go, but because Chermiti doesn't control it, he ends up probably kicking the Rangers striker's foot instead.
Tenecte's got Celtic's fourth of the night. A night it's turning into for Martin O'Neill and his new charges. Last they hit form as Tavernier has a free kick central area, probably just a bit too far out for him to try and shoot for goal, but he clips it in. It's a big chance here and Hibs managed to scramble it clear from inside their 6-yard box. Usama worked it back across goal, but Rangers couldn't turn it in, and Hibs defend the situation well, and it remains Hibs 0, Rangers 1.
Last ditch stuff, wasn't it? It was a good free kick, inventive from Tavernier, just dinking it sort of down the straight line from him. Usama being able to play it across the face, and it looked as if it was going to land for a Rangers player to put in the back of the net, but last ditch defending from Hibs, just being able to shut up shop and clear it.
In comes the throw in from the far side, flicked onto the near post, out for a Rangers corner. I feel like a second Rangers goal at this juncture would probably be enough.
I would imagine so, yeah. Just feels like Hibs as an attacking force have just sort of taken the foot off the gas, and it's just died a death a little bit.
Here's Tavernier with the corner, left hand side, near post ball. It's McGrath who gets something on it. Boyle tries to help it further clear. Sheedy will try and keep it in but fails to do so, and it's a Rangers throw in on this near side about 25 yards from goal. Has been scoring goals, it has been Rangers' key issue this season. Just 12 in the league now in their almost 10 games. Tavernier lining up, potential long throw in. Instead he goes short though to Barron. Now it's Tavernier, crossing opportunity, comes off Hoylett, breaks for Barron, poor cross from him, and just about gets it clear. His first touch wasn't great, but Hoylett's still down, having taken that one in the rib cage from Tavernier. He's struggling, can't get himself up and out as Oscar knocks it down for Tavernier. He goes back the way to Raskan. Hoylett's back on his feet and very gingerly getting back involved in the action, just winded by that close range body blow he took there. Here's Oscar on the halfway line. He scored that fabulous goal the other week against Dundee United. First real sign of what he can do is Suter gives it away in a bad area in the middle of the park, picked up by McGrath, and now Chaiwa charges forward. Oscar,
the referee John Beaton, that is an absolute shocker. That's a shocker. I mean, seriously, how on earth he's standing 3 yards away for that?
Yeah, that was a baffling one there. I mean, looked for all the world like a free kick to Hibernian, and
Chaiwa takes a great touch to go past Asgard, and he slides in and wipes him out.
Yeah, didn't look to get anything on the ball whatsoever. As Hibs' frustration grows here at Easter Road, trailing by a goal to nil with about 17 to play. Here's Bashiri into the Rangers half, out to the right hand side for Mulligan. Mulligan in off that touchline into Yuan. Yuan back out to the right flank. As Mulligan interchanges there, but doesn't come off with Hoylett, and Rangers can try and work it clear, but they've not got too many options in a forward area. They're just going to try and have to whack it clear. Comes off Boyle from Raskan's clearance and out for a Rangers throw-in, but I think Rangers are going to make another change here. Is it Majowski at last who's going to get the shout? Certainly need to hold the ball up a bit better up front, but still Hibs pressing for the equaliser. It hasn't come as yet. 1-0 Rangers lead. Danilo's 5th minute goal, the difference. Raskan fires it forwards. Gassama will chase, but it's going to go all the way through to Salinger just outside his area. And now it's Hanley for Bashiri, about 20 yards inside the Hibs half. Hibs looking for a goal that would give them at least a point here. A couple of draws I mentioned earlier here between the two sides last season. Only the one goal in this game so far as Iredale plays it back in field to Hanley. Hanley just at the edge of the centre circle, plays it to his right to Bashiri. His first touch isn't great, gets it into Yuan though, who finds Boyle a little bit fortuitously, but Boyle couldn't squeeze that in for Mulligan, and Rangers can try and build here with Raskan. Raskan though, there's the good play from Rangers that we talked about, particularly in that early part of the first half, it seems to have broken down. The connections aren't there anymore, Mike.
Yeah, it has, just as Hibs have taken more control of the game. Rangers are having to play a lot more of the game without the ball. But I'll be honest, Danny will not care a jot if they come away from this game 1-0. Hibs have got to do more in possession. They need to force the game, not force the game, but they need to really have more of a cutting edge and be more aggressive in their attacking play. Not sure what Eli Yuan's doing here. Well, you know,
he's considered the free kick.
You know the referee's going to give it.
A little nudge there on John Suter, and Suter tumbles, and that's the cue for Bojan Majowski to join the fray in place of Youssef Chermiti. So on comes Majowski, who scored in the League Cup game between these two sides earlier in the season. That remains his only goal in a Rangers jersey so far. But we'll have the opportunity here in the closing stages to try and add to that. We've got about 13 of the 90 to play, but there'll be a fair old chunk of added on time, it feels like. Motherwell have got a second through Elliott Watt against Dundee United. 2-0 they lead. Their good form continues as Barron picks up on the right hand side. Majowski can't do much with it though, and Hibs get the free kick midway inside their own half. So 2-0 Motherwell. There's plenty of goals to look forward to in Sports Scene tonight at 10:45 on BBC One Scotland. Only one of them has come here. Still time for more though. Hibs looking to find a leveller, which is a reasonable argument they deserve.
Yeah, just looking for a bit more from Mulligan in particular. He's got plenty of space there. Open his legs, go and drive. Like here, Hanley hit Mulligan. See, I think you should be missing that. Get Mulligan and let him drive, run, open your legs up.
Yeah, it's gone back the way there to Bashiri, and now Hanley, who plays it square to Iredale. Midway inside his own half, comes back in field. Rangers looking to cut off the angles. Barron
again here.
Bashiri out to Mulligan now. Down the line it goes for Hoylett. Good challenge from Cornelius, out for a Hibs throw-in. 10 yards inside the Rangers half into Yuan. It's taken.
Rangers are working very, very hard off the ball, closing down the spaces, shuffling across. Hibs are just not doing enough to really stretch them and open them up at the moment.
Dominating possession here, the home side, without forcing Jack Butland into any serious action, and that's gone all the way through from Cadden to Butland, in between both Boyle and Yuan, and the Rangers defence allowed that just to drift through to the goalkeeper, who had a couple of saves in the first period, nothing really to deal with in this second half. That is Butland testing the 8 seconds rule there. Iredale in there ahead of Gassama. Poor ball though, but Suter's clearance comes off Raskan, and Yuan almost got the break there as Osgaard picks up outside his own penalty area. Barron forward to Majowski, back again to Barron, into Giga it goes. Giga out to the right hand side for Tavernier. Giga once more just outside his own area, plays it to Raskan on the edge of the box, and back to Butland. Butland in the edge of the 6.
Yeah, Hibs have just got to be very, very aggressive now. They've got to go after. You get a sense there's a little bit of trepidation in Rangers play in that defensive third.
Cornelius allowed to travel a long ways, midway inside the Hibs half now. Eventually he just runs out of ideas and runs into Bashiri, and Hibs can try and counter, but again Giga is in the right place to cut out the ball forward, and it's picked up by Tavernier. He lays it in field, good ball for Raskan. Raskan now, Majowski's off him. Raskan still going up towards the edge of the box, now he plays it to Majowski. Back though came
Great
Mulligan
play.
And it was an important challenge. Majowski wasn't really aware of him, and he couldn't get the shot off, and Hibs pick up, and it's Boyle now to run at Giga into the Rangers half, plays it square for Mulligan to pick up. Mulligan takes charge, poor ball forward, Barron in the way. Barron goes down with a bit of cramp there. He's put so much into this game, covered every blade of grass as it were, and feeling the effects of that there as he stretched to cut out the ball forward from Mulligan, which, as you were saying, it was a poor one because he was in a good position.
He's not alone though. I mean, in the last couple of minutes, Hibs have been so poor when they've got into some good positions in the deep into Rangers half.
Majowski makes a run in the right channel. Giga tries to feed it for him. Hanley's there first though to direct it back to Salinger. Salinger just outside his own 6-yard box, plays it to Bashiri. Still, you would not say that far from it, the 3 points are in the bag for Rangers. 10 to play, but they lead by a goal to nil, and it's Gassama. Now it's Asgar out to the left hand side for Aarons. Aarons on that left flank, back to Cornelius, closed down by Yuan, gets it forward to Asgard, in steps Hoylett to knock it out of play. Rangers throwing midway inside the Hibs half on the left hand side. Aarons comes forward to take it. Rangers looking for back-to-back wins for the first time this season. I mean, defeated Kilmarnock at home, only one win on the road all season in any competition. That came late on against Livingston. Here's Aarons down at the corner flag left hand side, back to Osgaard. He plays it infield to Raskan, about 35 yards from goal, clips it to the back post. Tavernier's there, Tavernier with a volley, and it's comfortably taken by Salinger. Not sure if it was an attempted cross or shot, but either way it didn't overly trouble the goalkeeper, and it's still Hibernian 0, Rangers 1, 8 of the 90 left. Hanley picks up here for Hibernian.
Too slow, need to be quicker. Good play from McGrath.
Yeah, McGrath steps away from Gassama, drives forward, left hand side it's Cadden. Cadden swings it in, it's a deep ball, it's away from Boyle. Aarons will get there and he'll just clear it anywhere will do at the moment, up to the halfway line, and Bashiri will start the next Hibernian attack. There's going to be...
Give it to Mulligan again.
Yeah, another Rangers change. Yeah, Diamonde is going to come on, understandably. Connor Barron is going to come off, having looked exhausted there, and Diamonde is going to come on and try and just shore things up for Rangers as they look to hold on to the 3 points.
Hanley hit it out to Hoyle, who dropped in a bit of space. Mulligan needs to try and find a pass and get his legs opened up.
Here's Hanley back in the centre circle, out to the left hand side, this time for Cadden. Forward it goes to Yuan. Shiga comes out to meet him. Yuan on the right foot knocks it back to Iredale. Iredale out to the left hand side. Cadden back into Iredale. Yuan now. Time running out for Hibs. Can he find a leveller? It's McGrath, about 25 from goal, back out to the left. Hibs looking to manufacture a clear opening here. It's Iredale into Yuan. Yuan trying to spin away from Giga, runs into traffic though in the shape of Osgar. He gets it clear as far as Bashiri. Rangers with everyone behind the ball, including Majowski. deep inside their own territory. It's Hoylett out to the right hand side now, where Ewan's popped up. Now Boyle's there as well. Back to Hoylett. Hoylett midway inside the Rangers half. Hibs can't find the space they require just at the moment, but remaining patient as Bashiri funnels it back out to the right hand side for Boyle to run it to Barron here. Barron just stands off him, and Boyle can't get through the gap, but Ewan picks up and knocks it back to Bashiri. I think Hibs are going to bring on another substitute as well. Looks like Josh Campbell perhaps stripped inside the dugout just now, as both Diamondi and Campbell prepare to come on then in the next break and play, you would imagine. Still Hibs have it. It's Bashiri at the back though. Gets it back from Mulligan once more.
They're just going through the phases a little bit too passively.
Hanley tries to change that with a diagonal out to Cannon. Touch into McGrath now. Hoylett picks up. McGrath once more left hand side. Can't get it beyond Tavernier, but he's slipped. And Hoylett. Oh, it's got to be a penalty. It is. Barron with a reckless challenge. Oh, it's a ridiculous challenge. And Hibs have a penalty as Barron came in from behind. And he has given Hibs a golden opportunity to level this.
Sheer panic. It's just, panicking when I don't think he needed to. It's the slip from Tavernier that allows Hoylett to pick up the ball and drive in there. And Barron's just clumsily collided into him, and I really don't think he needed to attempt it.
No, I don't think he did either. And Barron, who was out on his feet, we mentioned it a few minutes ago, he was going to be replaced by Diamondi, and presumably that change will still take place, but too late, because Barron, who'd been pretty good all game, has just given Hibs a massive chance here to level things up late in the game. We're into the 86th minute, and Jamie McGrath will have the opportunity to notch the equaliser here in the closing stages. Jack Butland coming back onto his line now as Jamie McGrath places the ball on the spot. No doubt about the award. And now it's down to McGrath against Butland. McGrath right-footed, steps up, saved by Butland, pushes it out to his right, and Rangers scramble it behind for a corner. Massive moment in this game. Jack Butland might just have won the 3 points for Rangers.
Well, normally McGrath very, very composed and successful from penalty kicks. This time Butland saves it as the referee just holding things up, making sure everyone was alright in the penalty.
Yeah, looks like it was Butland potentially. Yeah, it's all good. Hearts have gone ahead at St Mirren as Hibs have a corner kick now, looking to make amends for that penalty miss, and it comes from McGrath near post. It's won by Raskan. Was that the opportunity for Hibs? It's certainly as good as they've had. Back it comes in. Souttar's clearance falls for Boyle, goes for goal, blocked by Majowski, and there's a player down as Rangers scramble it clear against a head knock, and there'll be a stoppage here. Well, it's all happening, it really is. Sports Scene's going to be a fabulous watch tonight, 10:45 BBC One, but that's penalty stop from Butland. Looks absolutely massive as the league leaders, Hearts, trailing most of the night, have gone 3-2 up in Paisley, and despite Celtic leading by 4-0, it looks like Hearts will preserve their 8-point lead at the top. Kabori sounds like he is the man who has put Hearts in front, as which has now been checked by VAR, by the way. Conor Barron is being called across the sideline, presumably, I was going to say replaced, but actually that change is not now happening. Josh Campbell has come on, and that goal has been chopped off. The Hearts goal has been chopped off. It's still 2-2, further drama there. So Barron with a big let off here, having conceded that penalty, is looked like he was going to be replaced there, but now it's Emmanuel Fernandez who's going to come on by the looks of it. Diamondi's got the top back on, and treatment. Is it Cornelius who's down getting treatment? Yeah, it's just been slowly, looks pretty groggy there. Didn't see exactly what happened in the penalty area, but well, what a let-off that is for Rangers, Michael. Good, does that go down as a good stop, poor penalty, or a bit of both?
A bit of both. It's still, it was on the deck. Jamie McGrath doesn't normally smash them anyway. He normally is looking for a movement from the goalkeeper and sliding it the other way, but Jack Butland reads it well, gets down low, but yeah, perhaps just not enough pace and not right in the corner. But as I said, it's not always what Jamie McGrath does. He invariably is waiting to see the the goalkeeper moving one way or the other.
Full time at Celtic Park, Celtic 4, Falkirk 0, so a resounding victory for Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney as they go in as interim management team. Emmanuel Fernandez is going to come on to replace Derek Cornelius here for the closing few minutes as he slowly makes his way off the park. We've played 90 minutes now, and it's going to be 5 minutes of added on time here at Easter Roads for, you would have to say, for Rangers to survive, wouldn't you, at this stage? That's how it's felt for Rangers to survive these last few minutes.
Sorry, I didn't hear
what I'm saying is, it's 5 minutes for Rangers to survive.
Yes,
the way things are going.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly feels, obviously they're the ones that are 1-0 up. Hibs are at home and they're pushing to try to get something out of the game. Got to say, they had an unbelievable opportunity with the penalty kick, but it just feels that they've not really done enough.
So Josh Campbell on and Emmanuel Fernandez on for the closing few minutes of this game as Hanley clips it forward looking for Hoylett, won by Fernandez. Hasn't had too many opportunities since signing in the summer, but he's on to try and ensure Rangers get all 3 points here at Easter Road, and that would be...
Ellie Youhan needs to get himself up the park. He's sitting as a number 6 there. I know he's looking to get involved, but he needs to get up in the box.
Hibs have a free kick. Conor Bannon's running a very fine line here. That was another foul by him, and he then ran the ball away. He was yellow carded much earlier. Obviously he didn't get yellow carded for the penalty situation, but here come Hibs once more. Right hand side is Youhan, back the way to Chai. Well, it wasn't a great ball for him. Tries to spin away from Aarons, gets the ball into the box.
What a ball!
Brilliant ball!
Oh, it's missed!
Oh, Josh Campbell, how has he sent that wide? Is the flag going up as well? But I mean, what a ball that is from Miguel Chaiwa on the far side. Josh Campbell flew headlong at it, looked like he was going to divert it beyond Jack Butland, but it goes wide of goal. But I think the flag is going up in any case. But my goodness, how have Hibs not managed to get a leveller in this one?
Yep. Quite incredible how they've not got a leveller. I mean, it's immaterial there because the flag's gone up. I'm very surprised that he was offside anyway, but I cannot believe he's not hit the target.
So Rangers survive another scare. Still they win, still they lead by a goal to nil. We've played 2.5 minutes of the 5 to be added on. Here's Grant Hanley midway inside his own half. Clipped forward, Tavernier underneath it. Picked up though by Campbell. Slips but manages to keep it in play. Back the way it goes to Iredale on the halfway line. Hanley now out to Bashiri. Hibs needs to find one last bit of something to try and create an opening. As Mulligan picks up right hand side, Aarons knocks it out of play, then throws himself to the ground. That is, I mean, just ridiculous from Max Aarons.
But the ref stops the game for it. And he's up, and guess what? He's fine. I've got to be honest, John Payton, as the second half's gone on, has been pretty poor.
There's going to be a long throw in by the looks of it here on the right hand side for Hibernian as Iredale was across to take this one. Pretty much 15 yards from the corner flag, and it comes. flicked high in the air by Campbell, in fact behind by Campbell, and that's poor because it was a decent throw in, but Campbell didn't get the connection he was looking for, and more it's looking like Rangers are going to hold on for the 3 points. 1-0 they lead with 90 seconds of the 5 minutes that were added on left to play. Danny Rule down there cajoling his players, looking for a last effort to see them over the line as Jack Butland takes his time over this goal kick here. Now it comes forward. Hibs win it once more, but it's Raskan in the middle of the park helping it forward. Gassama might latch onto this. The left hand side of the penalty, he slips once more. Asgard's there though, picks up, knocks it back to Gassama. Gassama with the opportunity, blocked by Chaiwa, away by Mulligan. Aaron Zoe gets it back out to the left hand side for Asgard, who'd be well advised to just take it to the corner flag. As Rangers look to hold on for a victory here. It's Gassama now down at the corner flag, trying to run it out of play. It's gone out of play for a goal kick, and Hibs Aberdeen have held on for victory at Rugby Park. 1-0. St Mirren 2, Hearts 2 is also finished. Motherwell leading by 2-0 against Dundee United, and Rangers leading by a goal to 0 here as Fernandes wins the header from the goal kick. Hibs trying to force it forward. Campbell does that. Giga's there once more for Rangers. It's a free kick though for Hibernian. Surely the last chance for them. We've gone beyond the 5 minutes as Salinger comes way out of his goal up to the halfway line to take this free kick. The Hibs fans remaining here desperate for some further late drama in the shape of an equaliser. Salinger launches it into the penalty area, won by Majowski, and there's the full time whistle. No further chances for Hibernian, and Rangers go back to back for the first time this season. That looks like a big statement win coming to Easter Road and turning in a performance good enough in the end to record the narrow victory. Danilo's goal after just 5 minutes has given them the 3 points here and given Danny Rule a second consecutive league win. And Hibernian, try as they might, could not find a leveller. Their best opportunity by a long stretch came from the penalty spot with just 5 minutes to play as Barron rashly challenged Hoylett. McGrath stepped up, but Butland dived to his right to push it away, and the chance was gone. And so it finishes at Easter Road as Hibs' poor record here against Rangers continues. Hibernian 0, Rangers 1.